friends, Singaporeans, activists. Contrary to popular belief, the Malay Bureau was not formed by the Malays. The Malay Bureau, the NSP Malay Bureau, was formed by the party for the Malays. In 2006 general election, I think nomination day, the PAP Malay head, the head of the PAP Malay Affairs Bureau. So the PAP have their own Malay Affairs Bureau, and NSP now has our own Malay Bureau. So the chairman, I think the head of the PAP Malay Affairs Bureau, told everybody in the whole world that there is no Malay issue, no Malay problem. I still remember that. And along the same line, NSP President then and NSP President now, Mr. Sebastian Teo, also saw that. And he thought to himself, because he did the groundwork, he did the walking in the various constituencies that NSP wanted to stand. And there were specific Malay issues. So that set him thinking, and that set the party, NSP, thinking, what is this fella from the Malay Affairs Bureau or the PAP saying that there is no Malay problem? There is. And that is why NSP formed the Malay Bureau. NSP also had to form the Malay Bureau because after the 2006 election, NSP decided to separate ourselves from the SDA, the Singapore Democratic Alliance. Now, the Singapore Democratic Alliance was helpful because they have Malay candidates to supply to the various opposition constituency. Because in the Singapore political landscape, you must have the GFC, you must have that Malay candidate, you must have that Indian candidate or minority candidate. So it is out of necessity for our own political survival that the Malay Bureau was formed by the NSP for the Malays. Now, the Malay Bureau, like I mentioned, is to not by itself to discuss masak-masak Malay problem, but to reinforce the party brand, to reinforce the party manifesto. At the same time, it provides a platform for Malay activists and potential candidates to champion the issues and concern of the Malays. Remember, you ask any Malay outside later, is there a Malay problem? Yes, there is. There are many things, according to their own background and experience. There is a Malay problem, but there are Malay problems and issues. NSP Malay Bureau is also formed to conduct activities consistent in projecting NSP as a championing political party worthy of community mainstream support. So we are not alone. We will never be alone in Singapore. And we want to offer ourselves as a nucleus for a concerted alternative voice on Malay-related matter and interest. Hitherto, it has always been the Malay Affairs Bureau of the PAP determining everything. But now, NSP Malay Bureau will represent the alternative views. Many alternative views out there that are not heard. We want to provide an avenue where more Malay professionals and leaders come forward and play a part in reshaping the political scene. A lot of our Malay leaders have to follow the PAP, but they have very good alternative views on how to help their own communities. These are the people that NSP will provide an avenue for. The Malay Affairs Bureau was formed to promote integration and inter-community support and cooperation. You know what I mean? Chinese, Malay, Indian, Eurasian, Jews, Arab, together. And as a credible group that can critically support common agendas for the political good of the country. Again, the Malay Bureau is here not just for the Malays, but for the country to move together. Because when you leave somebody behind, when somebody is felt that they are left behind, it's very difficult for the country to move forward. And this is something which I think is worthy to be quoted by Mr. Sebastian Teo, again, NSP President. Last year, when he addressed the first NSP Malay Bureau Forum, he said that in the coming GE, the last GE that we had, there will be smaller GRCs up for contest, and this means more Malay minority candidates will be needed to stand for contest. And he believed, the party believed, the Malay Bureau will be capable of recruiting more potential candidates for this coming election. NSP had a few Malay professionals, Malay candidates ready, while the other parties were struggling. The PAP, of course, they have thousands waiting in line. Now, for moving forward, we are volunteers. One, we don't hold official capacity, and we don't, we use our leave, we use our spare time, like Sunday, to do this, like you yourself. And we are not that ambitious to do everything in the world. We don't have the money, we don't have the resources. We have the spirit to want to better ourselves. And we can start somewhere. So every month, we want to have dialogue session to understand what are the Malay problems, what are the Malay issues moving forward every single month. This committee will determine, for example, in January, we want to have the education, February, some social issues, March, testing the political ground, that we want to have a second Malay cabinet minister. Like that. And on a quarterly basis, in this monthly dialogue, we will engage influencers and the stakeholders. These are the Malays, the Chinese, every Singaporeans, basically. And every quarterly, and this is a bit ambitious because we plan to have some sort of a forum, community roundtable, you may call it. But this will involve the Malay Muslim organization, the MMOs. And a lot of these MMOs, if not all, are closely linked to you know who, to funding, blah blah blah. So they are a bit afraid. But when I became a candidate for Tampines for NSP in the last election, they themselves come to me and come to the party and tell me what certain problems are, and they are willing to talk to us. There you go. Alternative views of the Malay leaders, which NSP Malay Bureau will try to facilitate. And this coming in, again, not by the Malays. Interestingly, ironically, it was a few days ago, somebody was asking me, Syafarin, this Mendaki tuition scheme for so many years, and the Malays are still not that good in mathematics. What's the problem? And I was thinking, I also don't know. You see, then we don't have the answers. We don't have the answers here. There are millions of things that can be the issue. But NSP will want to do this. We want to start a pilot program, small and beautiful and bold, of about 15 Malay students sitting for next year's PSLE, And this 15 target sample will be coached, will be helped. Again, this coming not from the Malays, from a Chinese person. I'm not going to tell you who he is. Later you find out. And next year, we shall see if this group of Malays are really cannot make it. If they really cannot make it, then there is something wrong with their community. But if this group, small group, can succeed, however small, then something is wrong somewhere, and we need to investigate. I mean, it sounds a bit scary today, but coming from my heart to you, and I hope, Mr. Hart, you will help us together. Remember, the Malay Bureau is for the Malays, but we in the committee, we have the Chinese helping out also, and the Indians, and Eurasian, Jews also coming in. No problem. Embrace, love everybody, right? And love their enemy also. Thank you, everyone.